listening to the Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technological advanced silhouette decoys on the market. And Vortex Canada, the force of optics.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Union 0430. And I got to tell you, we've got our first professional athlete that's come on with us, and big duck hunter, living in Oregon right now, just moved into Oregon, playing for the local team in the Major League Soccer League, MLS, Major League Soccer. Yeah. Major League Soccer. Yeah. I was like Major League Soccer League is what I was about to say. But we've got David Bingham coming to us. He's like I said, not a big deal, but he's a professional athlete. So we've got David joining us, coming to us from Oregon, and it's just him and I tonight as the boys are scattered all over the place. But it's going to be fun, and we're going to dig into David and his waterfowling career when he's not being a goalie for a professional soccer team. So David, buddy, thanks for coming on. I know we were going to try and get you on a couple weeks earlier, but American Thanksgiving and everything and trying to make our schedules work. So thanks, man, for having some patience with me and finally able to get you on.
No, glad it worked out. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, buddy, first things first, World Cup is on the go right now. I got that. So I'm Canadian, right? Grew up playing hockey. That's the only thing I know. So I've only gotten into soccer because my daughter plays some pretty competitive soccer now. So I'm starting to get bit by the bug. So this is the first year I've ever watched any World Cup soccer, and I'm getting everything from her. But I gotta ask your opinion. Like Ronaldo sits yesterday. Like, what are your thoughts on sitting Ronaldo? And but that guy that took his place scored 3 goals, so I guess it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean it's always a double-edged sword, right? If you sit him, you're getting slack from someone.
Yeah,
and then I mean the guy did, of course, he played well, but at the end of the day, it's like you're taking one of the best players out in the history of the game, so it's challenging. And yeah, I mean, not many people would have done that.
No, absolutely. So, so David, buddy, I don't want to say like it's weird or it's strange or anything like that, but following your social media, like it is 2 totally different worlds. You are soccer player and a duck hunter. There is no in between on your side. Like looking at your social media, there's no gray area. You're playing soccer. When you're not playing soccer, you're chasing birds. Where did this, love of chasing birds come from?
It started off when I was like 5 or 6. My dad was a big hunter.
Yeah.
I kind of grew up, like you said, either playing soccer or hunting ducks. And I remember it was always play on the weekends and then hop in the truck and then go up to the Sac Valley and try to shoot for a day or two, then bounce back for soccer. And I grew up doing it. I've been doing it since I was, like I said, 5 or 6, and had to put a little pause on it in between high school and college just because soccer is all encompassing in your schedule.
Yeah.
And then picked it back up in college and then been hitting it hard for the last 15, 16 years.
That's amazing. And you grew up in California, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Northern California in the Bay Area.
Like, and we've had a couple dudes on the show over the last couple of years that are from California, and it's one of those states because California is so big. I think most people and me included, when I think California, I just think Southern California, right? I never think of California as being this duck state. But it is a duck state. Like there's a ton of hunters and there's a ton of birds that comes down through there, right? So, and I would say out of all the states in the U.S., we've had more guests on the show from California than any other, which is wild, because before we started this show, I would never have thought that California was producing so many hunters, but here we are.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the states that's overlooked. I think it's probably the best state for waterfowl in the whole country. If you look
Really?
at just the amount of birds and the diversity that we have, you can be, I mean, in the morning, you can be out on the bay shooting sea ducks. In the afternoon, you can be in a rice field or cornfield shooting geese out of it. So it's just one of those states where you literally have endless opportunities to chase birds around. And if you like ducks, you can chase ducks. And if you like geese, you can chase geese. There's great dove, quail, chukar hunting up here too. So like there's a little bit of everything. Whereas if you go down to the Midwest or you go down south, you're pretty much limited on the species you're going to shoot. In California, I mean, you can shoot golden eyes, blue wings, cinnamon, mallards, pintails, specks, snows, Aleutians, honkers, cacklers. You can shoot everything. Whereas you go to the Midwest and you're really down to like 5 or 6 species, but you can come out on a day with us and shoot 10 different species in the same day.
That's amazing.
So,
and the cinnamon teal seems to be, or it is for us, like that's a bucket list bird for so many dudes, right? Like, and I don't know the full flight path or the habitat of the cinnamon teal, but all I do know is that it's on the southwest coast of the continent. So it sounds like you're in a pretty good spot when you can scratch off 10 different species like that. That's a prime hunting flyway, whatever it is you want to call it. It is a prime area. And I guess maybe we shouldn't be making such a big deal out of California, because maybe that'll start pushing way more hunters that way. But yeah, like it just blows my mind every time I talk to somebody from California when they talk about how much hunting, how much hunting property or hunting area that there is, especially in Northern California. It's, I don't know, it just always blows my mind, because for us Canadians, all we ever think about is Arkansas and Louisiana and, Missouri. And, when it comes to geese, well, we think about the Dakotas and Minnesota and those areas, but like, and now you're in Oregon. And since we've been, sort of working with the boys from First Light, like, we hear all about Idaho, Oregon, these areas now. And it's like, holy smokes, like there's so many states that you don't even think of, and they're just populated. It's amazing.
Yeah, the West Coast is definitely big in waterfowling. I think you go up to Eastern Washington. I mean, they probably have the best mallard hunting in the entire country. I mean, it blows Arkansas away. You go up there and it's incredible how they shoot consistently. How many mallards they hold. And then you come into Oregon, shoot a lot of mallards in November. Then you're shooting a lot of widgeon, pintail, teal, kind of December, January. And then you go to California and it's whatever you want, you can find it. Like this is, see if you can see this. This is one morning. Where's my camera?
Yeah, I got you. Look at that.
There you go. Trifecta in one morning down in California. And it's not uncommon for guys to go out and do stuff like that. Maybe not daily, but every month in California to do something like that. And it's definitely one of those special states where, like you said, people think about like Arkansas and all those places to shoot geese and that nasty cement mud. Well, in California, you go out in a t-shirt and lay in the field and put your spread out. You drive your truck in the field and put your spread out, and you can just hammer them. And it's definitely overlooked, and it's definitely competitive. There's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of guys up there chasing birds, and a lot of land's locked up. But it's if you can find the right spots, it's definitely a great spot to go.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, do you follow a gentleman by the name of Matt Judy on Instagram? Anyways, he's in Washington State, and the hunts that he does. And when you brought up the mallards, and it wasn't so much mallards, that it's the widgeon that I say I've never seen so much. Killer. Holy smokes, man! It's insane the amount of widgeon that those guys get in Washington.
Yeah, I'm not positive, but I think he's on the west side of the state. where they
Yeah.
get a lot of rain, and they're
Mm-hmm.
shooting those like big grass fields, kind of maybe clover fields that kind of get that little like 2-3 inches of sheet water in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, he puts on a pretty good show. I mean,
Yeah.
he smashes widgeon pretty good up there, and I know he chases them kind of like you said into Idaho and everything, and he's
Yeah.
a widgeon specialty kind of guy. And then if you go to the eastern part of the state, it's just mallards. If you saw a widgeon, you'd be surprised. Like it's just all
really?
It's all mallards. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's crazy. And so Oregon now, like if you're looking, because when I think of Oregon, all I think of is evergreen trees. Like I don't think of Oregon as a big agricultural state. Is it like, is that what's holding the birds in there? Is the agriculture, or is it just like a land of 1,000 lakes?
Yeah, Oregon's unique, man. It's not like California where you have thousands and thousands of acres of ag land like it is in Washington. I think Oregon is unique in the aspect of you have the rivers. A lot of the refuges up here you can't hunt, so it's not like the refuge I'm used to in California.
Yeah.
The refuges up in this area are closed zones essentially.
Okay.
There's a couple you could shoot, but majority of them are closed zones. So those hold birds. Like I said, you have the rivers, and there's a lot of like winter wheat fields up here. A lot of clover fields.
Right.
And then we also have flooded corn here as well. So you kind of get a little diversity. There's no rice up here, but
right,
little diversity. You can be chasing in the cornfield, and then the next day you can be on the river shooting. So it's definitely different than I would say Washington and California, where they kind of have like massive ag plots going on.
Yeah.
We don't have that, but Oregon has some pretty cool like niche kind of hunting that's definitely takes some getting used to, but it's definitely, I think it's really, really fun to learn. If you're a duck hunter, it's great.
Well, that's a good point. You just brought that up. And so for a fellow like you, where you grew up in California, cut your teeth in California, well, you learned how to duck hunt in California, carried that into your adult years, and now you're out of California or in Oregon. You've got to do a total reset now and relearn for that area, because some people just don't get it, that there's some things that you can carry with you from state to state, province to province, country to country, but you really got to reteach yourself now and relearn how to hunt in Oregon, right?
Oh yeah, it's totally different. I think you said it best. Is it's definitely different seeing how people hunt, for example, geese in the Midwest versus here, or in Canada versus in California or up in Washington. And me and one of my buddies from Washington was talking about all the time, when you see these A-frames in the middle of the field and they're just hammering geese. I go, if we put an A-frame in the middle of the field, our geese would look at us, tell us to F off, and then fly away. Like there's
really,
you wouldn't shoot one goose, you wouldn't shoot one bird. And it's like, you see stuff that works there, where if you come to the West Coast, there's no chance you're shooting birds out of an A-frame in the middle of the field. I don't care how you brush it. It's not happening.
Really?
No. They'd hit the field, laugh at you, turn around and fly away. There's no chance.
Flip you to bird as they're flying by.
There's no way. And then, like you said, here is a lot of different type of hunting where you're on the river, so you're out of boats, and you're working on your hide out of boats, and working on the tides and the currents and the wind, and trying not to get stuck when you get in certain places and that kind of thing. So it's definitely learning. I got a really good buddy up here, and he's kind of showing me the ropes in this area. So that's helped a lot. And we've been chasing pretty good, and definitely look forward to the next 30 days here.
So so you're moving into that area now, and you just said you got a pretty good buddy that's teaching you the ropes. For any of the listeners that's listening, that was stupid, but anybody that's listening, that find themselves in a similar situation where you're new to an area, like how did you link up with a local dude in order to to start hunting with him, and then him ultimately showing you the ropes?
I think people underestimate how tight knit the hunting community is. Everyone knows someone someplace, I'm a big dog trainer. I love training competition dogs.
Wicked.
And when I came up here, I didn't know anyone, right? So I still had my competition dogs to train, and I reached out to one of my really good buddies down in Northern California, and he was like, yeah, okay, call this guy. He's a pro up there, or he's one of the best pros in the nation. He goes, he's an hour from you. Text him.
Awesome.
I got in a dog group, started training dogs. My other buddy down in Northern California, he has the company cupped up the custom duck straps.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Yeah, he's like, I know. He's like, my really good buddy is actually up about 10 minutes from your spot. Why don't you shoot him a call? He has a dog too, and he wants to kind of get the dog trained and all that stuff. So I go, perfect. So I shoot him a call, and we just start bullshitting, and we meet up to train dogs, work the dogs together in a kind of local environment. We hit it off, and then we trained dogs for 6 months, and we're both just avid chase waterfowl guys. And then we just started chasing.
That's awesome. And I think you're right. And I think, I don't know, it's sort of weird because I want to say that the hunting community is tight knit, but yet sometimes I see things on social media and all this stuff that it makes me think, are we really as tight as what I think we are, or what I hope that we are? But I think I think it's got a lot to do with your attitude and how you present yourself too, right? Like, I think if you're an asshole, and if you come across as an asshole on that very first meetup, well, then chances are people aren't going to hang out with you, right? Like and I think ultimately that's what it is. Like when people say, well, we're not as tight knit as what you would think. Well, what was your first impression when you met up with the person, right? Like, are you a fucking jerk, or are you like a good dude when you went to meet up? Because I think that first impression is really the most important, right? So when you're meeting a stranger and you're hoping that this person's now going to become your hunting buddy and take you to his honey holes and you're going to train dogs with and all that stuff, that first impression, I think, is probably the most important thing of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple of things that go along with waterfowlers and kind of what you hit on of people saying we're not that tight knit. Well, I think if you look at the generation kind of before me, it was very respectful, and you would have friends, and they would take you to their spot, you would take them to your spot, they would have you over for dinner, you would bring something to dinner. If someone's bringing something to the table, if they take you to their honey hole, you're not then going back and taking your friends to that honey hole and blowing their spot up. You're not doing that. Whereas nowadays you look at everyone's trying to, I feel like, especially waterfowl hunters, the younger generation, they want those pictures. They want birds on the ground. They want all the straps full, but they don't want to do the work for it. They don't want to. They don't want to get up at 3:30 and go scout when the tide's high so they can drive around to see different spots. No, they just want to be told where to go, shoot their 7 birds, and then get out of there. But that's not how it works. It's a grind. You gotta put the miles in. You gotta put the scouting in. You gotta put the 10 hours making your boat right. You gotta make your custom blinds that you can walk in and drop wherever you want them. Yeah. You need to have a hedger to trim cover so you look natural. You got to have all these things, but it's work, and you have to bring something to the table. And no one's just going to have someone that tags along, doesn't bring anything. That's not how it works. And it's not even about bringing a monetary thing. It's about helping put out decoys, maybe getting there early, helping set up, helping clean the boat after. Like small things like that go a long way in this community. And it's something that I think the younger generation's definitely missing out on, is kind of the respect and the work ethic that the older generation had of waterfowlers. And if someone's saying, hey, we need to leave at 4 a.m. Okay, well then you're there at 3:40 asking, hey, what can I do to help you? Do you need help? Do you want me to bring breakfast? Do you need help with your dog? Does your wife need help with X and Y? And it's those kind of things that I think go a long way. And even inviting people over to your house after a hunt. Hey, why don't you guys come over? I'll cook dinner for all you guys. I appreciate you having me out. Just small gestures like that go a long way that absolutely I think we need to get back to.
You know what? A really good point, because if I was to say in my experience, the biggest thing that I look for when it comes to like help would be to scout, because I always find people always skip out on the scout, right? Nobody wants to go scout. Like I find most people don't mind helping you slug decoys or grass in a boat or any, but it's the scout that people just like, I don't want to go scout. But you bring up some really good points. Like it's those little, who's bringing coffee for the morning, right? Like who's going to stop in at the coffee shop and pick up a bunch of coffee and be the dude that does the coffee run for us, right? And you're right, it's little things. It doesn't have to be a big pile of money or a big drop of money into someone's pocket. It could simply be, hey, listen, I'll get coffee, I'll be the coffee guy for the rest of the fall, more or less, you know what I mean? And then everybody does their little piece, and that's how, well, you're a professional athlete, so it takes a team, right? Like it takes a village in order to make it happen. So and I think that's unlike any other hunting, and I'm not a big, I don't do a lot of big game hunting or anything like that. It's mostly just ducks and geese for me, but I don't think there's a partnership or a team aspect much like it is for waterfowl hunting, because you need so many different people to bring so many different things to the table in order to make it work.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially when you're getting into, like, if you're like, I'm a big goose guy, that's like, if I had to pick one thing to only chase, I'm chasing geese. It's massive. And like you said, it's not about having the most decoys or having the best stuff. We all understand everyone's at a different point in life, right? That's just how it is. So like, I think between me and two of my buddies, I think we have like, I don't know, 150 dozen full bodies, probably about 300 dozen socks, 50 dozen silos. So like, we have the gear, but we can't put that out ourselves. It's just not how it works. It's about finding guys who are willing to get up at 3 a.m., be there on time. They're not leaving at noon because, I have to go now because I have to go do X, Y, and Z. So now you're picking up the spread yourself. It's really about finding like a good group of like core guys. And then we have our good group of core guys, and obviously we're always welcome to bring guys in, but it's hard to find guys that are willing to do the same amount of work and not just show up for the hunts and then leave. Like the scouting. No one really likes driving for 150 miles down,
especially with the price of fuel these days.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. We just came down a little bit. We're at 350 now. Let's go, Oregon.
Well, I spoke to Jeff Coates. I don't know if you know Jeff Coates, but Jeff Coates is over in Maryland, and I spoke to him yesterday, and he's paying $5 a gallon.
Oh man, I think our diesel is about $5, but gas
that's his diesel. That was his diesel was $5. I think he said $5.19, or it was either $5.19 or $5.39. That's the two numbers that's sticking in my head per gallon. And I'm like, first when he said it, I was like, that's not that bad, because we're in liters. We're in liters, right? So, and there's roughly 4 liters to a gallon. So I'm like, well, $5.19, that's $1, whatever. We're at $1.30. So right now our gas, so I'd say we're 5. Yeah, we're just over $5 a gallon for gas right now.
Jeez, that is
insane, right?
Yeah. It's rough, especially when you're talking about, I mean, people think scouting is like you hop in your car, you go check like 1-2 fields, and that's it.
Yeah,
no.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's an all-day thing, right?
It's definitely, I've learned it's different depending on what state you're on. So out here, it's like, I know where they're roosting. And in Washington, you know where they're roosting, right? So it's like, okay, park your truck the direction you think they're going to fly. And then when they start flying, you're hammering it and you're following, you're chasing them. And out here, we have our early Canada season.
Yeah.
And well, if anyone knows anything about Oregon, it's always rainy, precipitation. You get fog, dude. It's like, all right, well, crap. So I set up, and it's early, right? I mean, like you said, this is 4 days before the season starts. So I'm out there at like 5, 6 a.m. waiting to see where they fly. They get up the first day, it's foggy. They fly. You hammer the truck, turn around, chase
Yeah.
them. Where'd they go? It's foggy. There's trees everywhere. You lose them. It's like crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Second day, and that's after you drive around for an hour just looking in fields trying to find them.
Mhm.
Second day, park a little farther on that side they flew out.
Yeah.
And then you finally find them, and then it's just like, dude, scouting's a 2, 3, 4 hour thing in the morning, and then in the evening it's the same thing, trying to see where they're loafing in the middle of the day, and then it's just like no one wants to do that. It's hard. It's like it's annoying. So one of my buddies in Washington does the same thing. So we just call each other when we're scouting and just shoot the shit while we're driving down back roads and just trying to like, hey, you got any luck today? I'm striking out. Like this is rough. But so it's just
and that goes, maybe that got a lot to do with the fact that I'm thinking to a comment you made earlier where you said, this generation and it's this generation of bird hunter. It's not so much that it has to be the 20 or the 18-year-old kid. I think it's this generation of bird hunter. So you could be 45 years old, but this is really when you're starting to take up bird hunting. But everything has to happen quick, right? And so this idea of 4 days before season open, what? I'm not even going to get to shoot anything, and you want me up at 5 to go sit down and just watch birds, but we're not even going to shoot anything.
So it's like, no, I want you up at 4 actually.
yeah, because I want you here at 5. You know what I mean? So there's something to be said for the fact that, you know what, just relax, enjoy it, enjoy it. Put the work in, because I know scouting don't sound like a lot of fun, but if you got a buddy in the truck with you, you could probably have some of the most the deepest conversations you'll ever have is while you're scouting, because you can unravel some of the world's greatest mysteries while you're sitting while you're sitting scouting, drinking, eating gas station sushi and
tornadoes. Gas station tornadoes.
What's a tornado?
Oh my God, Canada's not doing it right. So they're like little taquitos.
Yeah,
they're called tornadoes. It's the best gas station food on the West Coast, hands down. 100%.
Really, tornadoes. Well, so we had the boys from First Light up last March to hunt snows with us, and we have this thing called butter tarts, and they had never ever heard tell of a butter tart before, so we had to bring them, and it's amazing. So and that's gas station. We get those at the gas station. So we're gonna have to do a swap of butter tarts and tornadoes here at some point.
Tornadoes are a thing of beauties. Good God.
That's awesome. Okay, let's talk about custom straps, because that stuff is awesome. And I reached out to the owner, and I was like, this is my idea. This is what I want. I need you to make this for me. And then when we started looking at shipping costs into Canada, I'm like, buddy, I'd love to get it.
It's crazy.
It is insane, dude. Like, it's just insane to try and get anything out of the States across the border into Canada. As soon as it arrives at customs and Canada gets their hands on it, it's just ding, 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 ding. It's just cash. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He makes some of the best straps I've ever seen. And not only just like the cool nuance of like a custom strap, but also the utility of it. For example, they make detachable rings on them. So you have a nice leather strap. There's small ones, there's large ones. You can put whatever you want on them, which is super cool. But the detachable rings, now me and all my buddies run detachables, and we run, it doesn't matter what strap. You could have a large one, have a small one. All the detachables are the same, right?
Okay.
Well, sometimes people have to work the next day and vice versa. Sometimes they have a family get together or holidays or whatever it is, and someone's able to clean birds while the other person isn't.
Right.
Great. Well, just hand me the detachable. I'll take it home. Oh, by the way, here's one of mine. And you just flip-flop out. You flip-flop back and forth. And it's great. Like in my goose trailers, we have J-hooks on them. You take the detachable out, hang the bird in the goose trailer, you grab another one, off you go back out, or however you want to do it.
Yeah, makes sense.
the utility of them is definitely undervalued.
Yeah.
Their look and their aesthetic, it's killer. Like, I have one picture, I think I have like, we tried to hold up, I think it was like 20 something honkers. And I mean, big boys, one strap. It took 3 guys to lift it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Strap's good. I think we've put 80 snows on one strap before.
Really?
Easy. No problem.
That's insane.
I have up here, I have small ones with me.
Yeah.
We had 30, I think I had 30 cacklers on it around my neck. Let's see if I have a photo.
You keep talking. I'm going to find the photo and I'll bring it up.
Yeah. And it's just like the way they're able to customize them and
well, that's the thing that's what I liked about it, is like anything you want, like just dream it up. If he can plug it into the computer, it's going to get done. Right. So whatever it is you dream up, go for it. Like and the work that he does is like,
it's crazy. Here's a small one. And those are just all cacklers.
How's your neck even holding that?
You're just holding them and you're hoping, I have another one that's worse. Look at, and this is, okay, so this is one strap. You can't even, it takes 2 of us to lift them.
That's some big Canadas, buddy.
They're big. And it's no problem. Obviously we're sitting around a campfire drinking. It's like, how many can we really put on it? Like how many can we do?
And now becomes a competition.
Yeah, I mean, we've put on some crazy numbers where it takes 4 guys to lift the strap up, put it over your back. They don't break. They're great. Yeah. Like you said, they're great for the wall too. I'm building a duck lodge up in Northern California right now, or I should say down in, because I'm up here.
Yeah.
In Northern California right now.
Yep.
And I'm gonna have like a wall with like certain straps on it because they're great for the wall. They're great in the field.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the detachable ones, you don't even need to take the strap in the field. If you're just shooting ducks, you can just pull off one detachable, hook it onto your blind bag, and then when you get back, you can put it back on. Like they're super versatile, which I think is undervalued, and the price is killer compared to like these other ones from the stores. It's like, well, those are going to die in 2 years. These are good forever.
Yeah.
So
and you brought up the fact that like they're so versatile and the utility of them and all of that. As a group of people, like waterfowlers, like getting stuff to make life easier and the dumb stuff down for us, that's always that's the catch, right? People are always saying, what's going to be the next big thing for a duck or goose hunter, right? And it's got to be something that saves you time, makes life easy for you. And when you talk about these straps, how he hasn't blown up yet, because and you're 100% right, like this is getting handmade. The price is right compared to what's coming out of the big box stores and stuff that you're going to have to replace. Well, you're not doing multiple hunts with 20 giants on them. You know what I mean?
Thanks, babe. Yep.
Girl. Oh, that crown.
Canada.
Yeah, buddy.
It's Canadian. See?
Yeah. And I was in Missouri. I'm ex-military, so I was in Missouri at Fort Leonard Wood training bunch of years ago, and I was in on base, and I was picking up beer, and they had Crown Royal, and it was expensive, and I'm like, why is Crown Royal expensive? Like that, but it's an import, and Crown Royal it is good whiskey. I just didn't realize that it was a big thing in the States, and it is.
Yeah, it's my waterfowl. It's my waterfowl.
Oh yeah,
tank. That's it. Well, it's not bad. I mean, on the West, I don't know what it is on the East Coast. On the West Coast, it's between like $19 and $23 usually for a bottle, which isn't terrible. I mean,
no, that's not bad at all.
In comparison, it's pretty similar with like Jack Daniels. Is the best way to say it, or comparable to like. I think Bullet is a little bit more by like a buck or two.
Right,
but. It's for, I mean, that's the waterfowl. That's the winter drink.
Yeah. Maybe the bottle, maybe it was a special bottle or something then, because it was expensive. Like it was way more than like $20 for the bottle. Like
it could have been the reserve one or
maybe
something like that.
Maybe something like that. So here's one for you, because me and my buddies, we love this whiskey that comes out of the States, but you can only get it in the States. I can't get it in Canada. So anytime anybody goes south of the border, we're always bringing back a bottle of it. And it's Bird Dog whiskey. And we love this stuff. And so many people are like, it's shit.
Hold on.
This is going to be good. So that we're still here, ladies and gentlemen.
Ugh.
Okay. Oh yeah. What is that? Blackberry?
It's a blackberry.
Blackberry. Yeah. Oh no. See, the best one is my favorite is peach. Is my favorite. I'm a big peach fan, but the blackberry one's good too. But everybody we talk to from the States, they're like, Bird Dog is shit. Like, why are you drinking that? And we're like, man, we love it.
It's great.
Have you guys? So they do it maybe twice a year. Crown Royal to do Crown Royal peach. Well, you got the vanilla, so I'm sure they do the peach down there too, right?
Yeah, they do peach, vanilla, apple. Christmas time, there's a cinnamon one.
I don't know about that.
The Bird Dog has a whole bunch of flavors now. They have like peanut butter chocolate, strawberry, cherry. I've tried the peanut butter one before. It's all right for like dessert, but I always put like, so if I have the blackberry one, I just put in like blackberry sparkling water too.
Yeah.
Killer.
Yeah. Killer.
That's great.
So there's so the peanut butter one is good, and then there's Screwball, which is a peanut butter whiskey. That one's good. But there was a really weird buddy of ours brought one back. It was a Bird Dog one, and it was nasty, man. Like it was bad, and it was some funky flavor, but it was nasty.
Wait,
and I can't.
Was it the jalapeno one? Like jalapeno something? I saw it at the store and I looked at them and I was like, I want you to be honest with me. How is it? How is it?
Yeah. I can't remember which one it was. I know we've had the jalapeno one. And I don't think it was that. It was something like it was something like dark chocolate and something. But it was like, even just the name of it, I was like, no. I'm going to pass on this one, and I'm a big fan, but yeah, Bird Dog. But there's so many fellas out of the States that are like, nobody drinks that shit, and I'm like, oh well, fuck, we love it. So and I've been trying to talk. I send, every 3-4 weeks, I send Bird Dog whiskey a message through social media, and I'm like, coming to Canada yet? Because we got a bunch of dudes that wanted, and they're like, soon. It's always soon.
Yeah.
But we never. Hopefully we'll get it in sometime. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So what's on so now how late does your season run to now? Like, will you go right into the new year, like into January?
Oh yeah. We go through
good.
January 31st for ducks.
Oh, sweet.
And then for geese, California has a 5-day late season. It generally runs from a Wednesday through a Sunday. It's in February. Yeah. Up in the north coast of California, you can go till March 31st for late season.
Oh, smokes.
For Oregon, it goes pretty late too for late season. I'm not positive on that one, the date, but it goes pretty late.
Oh wow.
And it gets pretty gnarly.
What's your season for MLS? Like I if memory serves, you start in like April, right?
We start in January for preseason. Oh. And then this year our first game is, or this coming year, our first game is the end of February.
Okay, end of February, and then runs till
November.
Oh shit, that's a crazy long season.
Yeah, but it
How
does.
How many games do you play a week? One game a week?
Between 1 and 3, depends on the time of year.
Right. Wow, that's insane. That's a crazy long season with a lot of, you're talking possibly 3 games a week.
Yeah,
certain weeks. Jeez, that's nuts.
It's a grind. You go from chasing birds, which is a grind, into that, and it's like, oof.
Wow. And then, so, you're in the Western Conference. So, and I can just imagine that there's a ton of teams, but like, how many teams are in your conference? Because that would, and you'll only stick to the West Coast, right? Like, you'll probably like 1 game or 2 games here or there that you'll head over to the East Coast, but you're not doing cross country trips every week, right?
We're doing we come to the East Coast, I would say probably 8 to 10 times a year. Because the conferences keep expanding because the league's growing. So
Yeah.
I think we had 12 last year, maybe 13.
Okay.
So for example, like Nashville was in the West last year,
Right.
even though it's all the way out there. So,
yeah.
But then we also went to New York, went to Toronto, we went to Florida, we go to Kansas City, we go to Minnesota. Both those two teams are in the West. So it's like, we're traveling a lot.
Wow.
I would say we're going from like the West Coast to the East Coast back to the West Coast probably 6-7 times a year with like a 3-game week kind of a thing, or depending how the schedule lines up. But it's a lot of travel. You're just on average, you're gone at least every other week.
Wow.
Sometimes we'll leave on Thursday, get home Sunday morning at like 4 a.m., depending where we're playing at. And then we're back to work on Monday. So it's just like, it's travel, but to be fair, we're all used to it. We've been doing it since we were 15.
Right.
So it's not new to us. It's just when you say it to other people, they go, that's a lot of travel.
Yeah.
But for us, it's just normal.
Okay. Yeah. Fair. For you guys, but then, while I'm ex-military, so, I did a lot of traveling. For us, the biggest was our wives, right? Because for us, we could care less because we were always with our buddies and we were, we sort of knew what we were getting into. It was the wives. Sometimes they didn't really didn't know what they were signing up for. Right. But that's when, that's the way we used to always, we knew you had a good one when they could put up with the amount of time that you were gone and they still like to see you when you come back. But now I'll tell you this, since I've retired and I'm home all the time, now my wife tries to kick me out. She's like, don't you want to go away hunting for a week or something like that? And I'm like, yeah, actually I do.
I actually do.
Yeah. So perhaps I'll book a trip and I'll go away somewhere. She's like, yeah, because you're just in my face all the time now. And she done almost 20 years of me being gone all the time. And then now I'm in her face all the time. Yeah, she's like, it's time for you to go away. Go see your buddies for a couple of days or something like this.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what you got to look forward to, buddy. It's not all that bad. I promise you. That's cool. Like, and when you said you were in Toronto and even Montreal, like, what do you have? Like, what's your schedule? So let's say you land in Toronto for a Saturday game.
Okay.
Like, do you show up in Toronto on Friday and get used to and in the hotel and getting used to everything, play Saturday, and then Sunday you're on a plane to the next game? Is that how it works?
We will actually fly in Thursday for a Saturday game.
Okay.
And if we're changing 2 time zones, we'll come in 2 days early.
Right.
We'll train in the morning, local. We'll go from the training facility straight to the airport, hop a flight from the airport, land, usually get in at because of the time change, around 10. We'll have dinner, wake up the next day, train, treatment meetings, dinner, and then play the next night. Go straight. So if we play at 7 p.m. in Toronto, we'll get done at 9:20, 9:30. We'll leave straight from the stadium, go back to the airport, and fly straight home. So we'll land on that kind of trip. We'll probably land at about 2:30.
Okay, so trying to plan a hunt while you're in Toronto is no good, because I'm literally 2 hours away from Toronto, right? I'm nowhere, just down the highway. So planning a hunting trip while you're in Toronto, that's no go, eh?
No, that's a no. And we also play in the middle of the year too, so it's not even hunting season at that point.
True.
We start. But usually we're on the East Coast. They try to do it so you're not doing it at the end of the year, so you're doing it August and before.
Okay.
It kind of works out that way.
Yeah, because our snow season, we get into the big snow, Montreal, they get into the big snow season in March. That's prime time for snows in around Montreal.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's prime time, and that's March. And Montreal, that area around Montreal, that's insane for snow geese. Insane.
You guys are no plugs and e-calls, right?
No plugs. No, we have to have plugs. We can't have the extended mags, the extended tubes. But we can use e-collars. We can use e-collars, but no plugs. Or we have to have plugs in our guns. Yeah. So we're only like 3 shots, right?
Yeah. That's California's no e-calls, and you have to have a plug in.
Ooh.
3 shots, even in conservation season. They call it conservation season.
Wow.
It's not convert. No e-collars.
Yeah.
Plugs in. If you could run e-collars and run extended in California, it would get quick.
Dumb. Yeah. I'd like to try it. Like I really would. I'd like to be able to go on a hunt one time and I don't like how many shells can you put in a gun that's got the extended tube? Like what are you putting in there? Like 10, 12?
I think it goes from 8 to 12 depending. All you big boys shoot 12 gauge. I shoot a 20 gauge. So
that's what I just switched this year. I just switched this year to the 20. And Phil, one of the guys that's on the show here with me, and Dave, my business partner, he dropped down to a 28 this year.
Those are expensive to shoot. Shells are expensive.
Well, finding the shells was the hard thing for him up in Canada. Like he just couldn't. He had a really hard time trying to find them up here. But yeah, like he dropped down to a 28. I'm shooting a 20. Our other buddy Phil shoots a 20. Yeah, and I don't think I'll ever go back to a 12. To be honest with you,
I sold all mine 5 years ago.
Oh, really?
I don't own one now. It's only 20s.
Wow. What are you shooting for? Like, what's your go-to?
This year, the last 2 years, it's been the SBE3.
Yeah.
Before that, though, I think it's the best waterfowl gun ever built. They stopped building it. It was the A400 Light in 20 gauge.
Yeah.
Beretta discontinued it because it wouldn't cycle low base shells.
Yeah.
So they kicked it out. I've been trying to find another one ever since because I had one.
Yeah.
And then I still have it. I got it all custom done. It's all like white now for like laying in snow spreads.
Oh, sick.
It's sweet, but it's actually right behind me on the bed too. But I've been trying to find another one. I can't find one.
That's sad, what I shoot an A400 now. That's what so I was
a newer one.
Yeah, it's So it was crazy here in Canada. So I couldn't even get one in Canada. The only one I could find was the Upland, the A400 Upland. Like I couldn't even get anything in camouflage, but it's okay. I'll probably go Cerakoted anyways. You go get your gun. I'm going to grab a beer.
It's literally right here. Yeah.
This show has been both of us. Both of us been.
Here's
buddy.
The white one. This is my snow gun.
It's
all done with that like Cerakote distressed one.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. I really dig that.
Oh. It's sweet. This is it's used, the butt plate's all like worn out, and I got
that gives it some character, man.
Hey, this was my favorite gun I ever bought. And then I pulled a bonehead move, and it was like pouring down rain one time and everything, and I was like cold, windy, like one of those like nasty, great duck day, nasty day, right?
Yeah.
Put it in like the gun safe after, or put it in the truck. Forgot to like clean it. Choke tube rusted in. Had to send it back. They had to rethread cut the choke out, rethread it. So now it's rem chokes.
Oh,
it's like, oh my God. So I've been looking for another one. So I have and I don't know why the barrels on those guns, it's almost as much as the guns, $800. And I was no.
Well, it's
crazy.
We had a guy, Scott Shepard, on the show a bunch of months ago, and Scott used to work for Beretta. He was one of their big sales dudes, and anyways, he was explaining, and I can't give the explanation, but he was giving the explanation on Beretta barrels, and I didn't realize how much thought went into the barrel, because it's just, like, there's no rifling in it, right? So I'm just like, well, it's just, you're just throwing, well, steel down it,
steel
like,
together. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I didn't think that there was that much technology or thought put into a barrel of a shotgun, but he was explaining, man, it's pretty crazy. So I believe it when you say 800. That seems like a lot.
It's a lot.
$800
Like,
for a barrel.
Berettas and Benelli barrels are like crazy expensive. They're crazy. So I was talking to the place I sent it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we can cut it. And I go, well, if you're going to cut it below 26, let me know. Because I won't even do it. Like, just send it back. I won't do it. Like, it's not. So then they went through all like their books and research. He goes, I think we can put rem chokes in it. I go, great. Sounds good. Put them in. So now it's a rem choke gun. And it's funny. I got a choke like cut out of it. I only shoot one choke anyway. I should have just left it in and had them Cerakote it, but whatever.
Yeah.
So got that one back.
That's funny. It's funny because I like when you said you only shoot one choke, and I tried to. I think it had a lot to do with I think I was trying to seem like I knew a lot of stuff, or you know what I mean, and people to be like, so what are you like? I shoot if I'm shooting ducks, well now like at a 20 gauge, right? I shoot number 4s. I shoot number 4s out of my 20 gauge. I have no idea what feet per second it is. I have no idea what the ounce load is. I just say, give me a box of number 4s, and that's it. I've got the factory choke that you know what I mean? Like, I really don't get into all this special, like I got to have a choke for this and choke for that, and I only shoot this weight bead and stuff. I'm just give me a box of number 4s, and I'll just run it through my my modified choke, and I'm good. You know,
I'm the exact opposite.
Are you really?
Yeah. I shoot full choke at everything. It never changes.
Really?
It's always full, and I only shoot Kent 2s. And I only shoot the fast ones. They're 7-8 ounce. They're 1550.
Yeah.
It's the only, I don't change for ducks, geese, pheasant, nothing. It's the same shot. It's the same shell every single time. If I'm shooting teal or if I'm shooting mallards, I never change it. It's the exact same setup. Yeah.
Oh, so I'll shoot. So when I'm shooting early season geese, no, that's a lie. I shouldn't say that. Geese, I'll switch to number 2s, but if I'm shooting ducks, it's number 4s. I won't go anything any bigger than 4s for ducks, but for geese, I'll go 2s. But then if like this time of the year, if I was to go hunt geese now, I'd be looking at BB. Just because they just got that much fat on them right now, and just trying to get through those feathers right now. I would probably try BB right now, but I'm not a big goose. Like I sort of chuckled when you said that you're like, that's your thing is geese. And I'm just like, man, with all the ducks that's around, but I guess if there's a pile of ducks around you and geese are sort of the exception to the rule, well, then I could see why you would want to shoot geese more, because we have more geese here than we do ducks, right? And I would pick a mallard hunt over anything in the entire world. Oh yeah.
You got to come to the West Coast.
Yeah,
the Northwest it's wild up here. I mean, I would say the main duck in Washington is mallard, 100%. I don't care what anyone says. The eastern part of Washington shoots more mallards than Arkansas, 100%.
Really?
Shoot more. Yeah, they smash them. It's crazy because everyone talks about like going to the timber, and like shooting mallards there. Yeah, but they don't realize that when they really stack them up there, they're shooting rice fields out there.
Right.
They're smashing them out. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There are some unreal timber hunts, but when they're really putting piles down, they're shooting them out of rice. They're not shooting them in the timber.
Right.
So it's just different. And then you come out to the West Coast, like especially if you go to Eastern Washington, you're shooting in corn ponds, and I'm telling you, it's the best. There's one place in particular up there. It's called Eagle Lakes Lodge.
Yeah.
It's the best mallard hunting in the whole U.S. And I can't be convinced otherwise. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Like unbelievable.
That's an impressive statement to make.
Like, and I have buddies that go down to Stuttgart and do all these things.
Yeah.
And we all talk about it, and we're all on the same thing. Like, this one area in Washington, and the owner's name is Mike Bernson, and they have it down to it. They have it down. Like if you took 6 buddies out there,
that's Eagle Lake, you said?
It's called Eagle Lakes.
Yeah. I'm gonna look them up.
It's the best waterfowl hunting for mallards in the U.S.
Wow.
And I will put money on it. Like with anyone who wants to, like, oh no, the South, no, there.
Wow.
Hands
we
down.
didn't get a chance, and just because I heard your dog clicking his nails as he's coming in. So what are you doing for competition dogs? Labs?
Yeah. So I got here. This is Nitro.
Nice.
This is my competition boy. Off. Run field trials.
Yep.
Do some hunt tests for fun, but mainly field trials.
Yep. How's he doing?
He's doing good. He's a puppy still. He's 2.5.
Oh wow.
He's a baby.
Yeah.
I have an older dog, Bandit, who's retired. He ran hunt tests. He was a master hunter.
Okay.
But this guy's gonna run field trials. That's more his speed.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we have the truck dog. Fred, here.
You had the what? The truck dog?
Truck dog. This is Fred.
Oh. Hey, that's a good looking boxer, buddy.
Brindle boxer.
Yeah.
Good boy. Off. Yeah. That's the truck dog.
Awesome. That's awesome. The field trial. So my dog's sire was the all points champion in the States. This is 2022. So I'm going to say 2018, 2019. He was the all points champion in the States.
Way cool.
Tucked away at River's Edge, I think. I don't know what his call name. I don't know what his call name was, but anyways, yeah, amazing dogs. And I'm just a regular dude, and my buddy helps me train. Who he could be a pro if he wanted to, but he sticks to the amateur side. And I haven't even scratched the surface on her potential yet. She's a high speed dog, and I'm a low speed kind of guy. So I don't think I've even come close to what she's capable of doing just because of her pedigree. But it's fun. It's
definitely fun.
Oh yeah, buddy. David, buddy, we're at that hour mark, and I could stay on here and chat with you all night long because it's been a fucking good time. It's been fun, but I find most people after they listen to my voice for about an hour, then they tend to get a little bit. All right, it's time for you to be quiet now. So, buddy, thanks so much for coming on. I really do mean that, and I'd like to give you an open invite anytime you want. Like, don't wait for me to reach back out to you. If you ever want to jump on, bring some of your buddies on, and we just shoot the shit and talk about you smashing mallards, I'd be all for it.
Oh, it sounds good. I'll definitely I'll be down in California soon and talk to my buddy Steve down there. The kept up.
Talk
to him. He's definitely, and don't get us wrong, we'll shoot spoonies too out in California. So watch out.
Hollywood.
Hey, they both got green heads.
That's right, buddy. Awesome, dude. Thanks so much again for coming on, buddy. I really do appreciate it. And it was awesome to meet you. We've been chatting back and forth for a while, and it's good to finally chat with you face to face, even though we're thousands of miles apart. But again, I appreciate it, buddy. Any last words to you?
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll connect soon. And we got to get you out here to the West Coast and
big time.
Show you how we do it over here.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 126 of the Union 0430. Like we always say, we will never pretend to be someone we're not. We're just a bunch of dudes that love talking waterfowl and hanging out with some cool guests. Big love. Until next time.